Welcome, Dr. James Beckett, Sports Card Insights. This episode is about CoachDavidLee.com/cards. He's got a course on how to really understand collecting, 7 hours. It's not very expensive. I think you ought to check it out. But this is a short daily episode where you get to hear from the Coach David Buddy Lee. We had a good time catching up. He used to be on our team back when I was around and has gone on to doing a whole bunch of things. One of them is this course, and he unpacks it for us in the next few minutes. Thanks sponsors, Topps Panini and Upper Deck, Heritage Auctions, Huggins Scott Auctions, Mike Stadium Sports Cards, Burbank Sports Cards, Cropsy.com, and Beckett Media, Beckett Grading, Beckett Authentication. So without further ado, here's Coach David Lee, David Buddy Lee, football aficionado and PR marketing maven. CoachDavidLee.com. You've got a lot of diversity. There's something for a lot of people, not just collectors or not just football. I'm wondering, what's the blend of what you do? Is a smaller percentage of it now football or sports cards or collectibles, or is it still that's where your core is, where your heart is? And is it football or collecting, or is it just those two?
The CoachDavidLee.com, I really created that because, like I said, I really started to get into a lot of online content marketing. I started something so I could turn around and teach it. And that's what I was doing with a lot of like small businesses. I was helping them with their blog writing, their search engine, keyword research, and really applying all the stuff that I learned. And I was applying to my own business for promoting myself. So it really kind of got into teaching that. And I started creating some online courses, teaching content marketing, teaching email marketing tips, and all based on stuff that has worked for me. So that's really where the coaching kind of came in. I just started doing a lot of content marketing training and coaching. But during that time, still creating journalism, marketing, or public relations type of content for a lot of different clients and a lot of different organizations. So all of that is encompassed on my website. Still the sports card and collectibles industry, it makes up a decent percentage of what I do. I would say a good 25% of my content creation on a regular basis.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about, because it seems like you got a pretty robust, diverse set of courses or ways that you could help any different kind of organization. But it's hard to take the collector out of David Lee or the football out of David Lee. So a lot of these things you're doing are offshoots from your learnings or your experiences from enjoying the passion of the collecting community. But it doesn't have to be the only thing you do. I think that's interesting. It's such a great hobby, David. And sometimes it's better as a side gig than as a full-time thing. So I'm just wondering, when you're doing these courses and things like that, is it exciting for that 20 or 25%? Is that the part you really enjoy, or you just enjoy it all? Because like I said, sometimes the hobby, when you're full-time, if you're spending 50, 60, 70 hours a week on it, doesn't feel like a hobby anymore. It feels like a chore. But perhaps you've got this ideal blend. Right. Just curious about that.
Sure. No, I certainly enjoy it all, especially being able to work for myself now. I've been able to really hone in on and really discover what it is that I really enjoy, most, and just figure that out. But obviously, I've been collecting since I was 9-10 years old. So yeah, that's always been at the core. I've always loved being involved in sports, whether it's creating content, collecting cards, creating content about collecting cards. Being able to marry all that together has been awesome, no doubt. But yeah, you're right. Sometimes you can reach the point to where it seems like a chore. So you don't want to get into it so much that it feels like you're doing it because you have to, or you're doing it for some other reason other than having some fun with it. But I think there's enough variety there to where it always keeps it interesting.
Let's talk about your course now. It's a 7-hour online course. It's not that expensive, but there's registration and some fees, but looks like a pretty outstanding bargain to me. But you have other courses, but that course is something that you have out there. Did you have to cram it into 7 hours, or were you trying to pad it to 7 hours, or what's magical about the 7 hours? And just tell us about that course, because it sounds like people ask me all the time, how do I get started? And I can't say gratuitously or just listen to my podcast. That's not, there's some good tidbits in a lot of podcasts, and a lot of YouTubers have stuff, but right. You have an actual course that's 7 hours. And so tell us how that came about and how that's evolving and what's good about that, because I think it's very necessary.
It was a lot of fun. And really, the 7 hours, that wasn't my goal. My goal was really to just create an online course that was really a one-stop shop for people getting into the hobby for the first time, or maybe started again and they've been gone for years. And it really started back in 2019. We started seeing a lot of people online, mostly on Facebook and a couple of message boards, just ask a lot of really basic questions. Maybe they've been gone for 15 years and they're just now getting back in. Obviously, there's a lot of terrific content out there on YouTube, podcasts like yours, people on Instagram putting a lot of great content out there. But I really didn't see a one-stop place. If you had to go to one place to get started in this hobby and you're confused about all these parallels and what makes a card valuable, and should I grade this card, should I not, what condition issues should I be looking for? You get on eBay and you type in Michael Jordan cards and you're just completely confused about what you're seeing. So I wanted to create something that someone could go to and take the course and come out of there feeling confident that they can now go pursue whatever they want to. Nothing in the course is directing anybody to collect a certain thing or to invest in anything. My whole goal was to just equip people with enough information so they can go make those decisions on their own. It's broken up into sections and lessons that build on each other. It's all video based. I do some on-screen tutorials. A lot of it is just kind of me talking over some slides. So we go over condition grades, we go over grading card scale, but really try to do an all-encompassing course. And I've added to the course. I've gotten some great feedback on it. People ask me additional questions, which gives me an idea to go ahead and add another lesson. And anybody who does enroll in the course, they have lifetime access to it. So if I do add 3 more lessons, they can go back and take those at any time. And people can take it at their own pace. The platform that it's hosted on has an app, so they can watch it and pick it up on their phone if they want to. The platform, it's always up, it's always active. I've gotten a lot of fantastic feedback on it, which, like I said, gives me ideas to add to it, because as the hobby changes, I can always go back and add.
The price is not a huge deterrent. So there's a lot of content, there's a lot of information. So the price is less than buying a hardcover book, and you're going to walk them through it. So to me, it looks like a bargain. And I get the same question that you might get, is that it seems like a lot more people should be listening or should be signed up for your course. And the reason they're not, and for me too, is you're expressly saying, I'm not going to tell you what you want to know. And I'm saying, I'm not going to tell you what you want to know from me, and that is what to buy. So if you were to say, this is David Lee, and I'm going to tell you exactly what to buy and when to buy and how much to pay and what's going up and what's going down, you'd have a lot more people signing up. But talk about a brand promise, that over-promising and under-delivering, I just think it'd be really difficult. Surely you have opinions. I have opinions of what to buy. But to put that out there and to make these strong recommendations, these are the 5 cards that are going up next week. I don't think that's what you're trying to do. It's not what I'm trying to do. But apparently it's the sensationalism and controversy is one of the recipes for marketing success. And it has happened in our industry, the world record prices. So how do you deal with that? Because like I said, I think you have a great course, but there are people out there in the YouTube world and the Instagram world that have 10 times as many followers or people that are tracking. And it's because people are telling them what they want to hear, but it's just an opinion.
Obviously, my target audience was trying to help people who were just lost, who were confused, and who want to get into cards, or maybe they did collect cards 20 years ago. Now they're drowning in all these options, all these products and parallels, and what makes a card valuable in the first place and what should be looking for, because people come into it with all different types of goals. Maybe they only want to collect their favorite team, or maybe they're only interested in making some money. So you're going to have people spanning the spectrum of that. And in the introduction video, I make sure to tell people it's not my intention to tell you what to buy or what to invest in, if that's
their goal, though, David, for a lot of them. And I don't know that I'd call them investors over collectors. I think there's a fork in the road if somebody is interested in my podcast, let's say, or your course. If you were to say, hey, 7 hours, it's exactly what you need. Or here's a podcast and they're only 15-minute episodes, but then they do the math. They say, well, there's hundreds of 15-minute episodes. And if they say, I don't have time to listen to all those podcasts, I don't have time to spend 7 hours, I'm thinking, what's wrong with this picture? You don't have 7 hours to spend on really getting the basics of a hobby that would help you to enjoy it for the rest of your life. To me, that's an impatience that suggests that somebody maybe isn't going to be a lifelong collector as much as they want to get a quick hit. Therefore, what you're telling them you're not going to tell them is exactly what they want to know. In fact, skip the 7 hours, cut to the part that tells me what to buy tomorrow or today. You're the marketing pro. I'm the retired guy. I'm just realizing that you have positioned your product and yourself, as I've tried to be, is not the sensational quick fix guy, but here are some principles that if you understand them in the long run, you're going to be better. In the short run, you're going to be better. But having some patience.
Yeah, and that's what I try to get across in the course. It's basically equipping yourself with the knowledge to go make those decisions, because if you're waiting on somebody to tell you what to buy, you're going to have to come back to them over and over again to get their opinion on it, as opposed to feeling confident to make those decisions on your own.
If you're buying what somebody else bought, they just bought it at the better price, and now you're coming in at the higher price. So a lot of these people that tout, not all of them, but a lot of them are touting something that they've already now taken a position in. And so, again, I want to do original research. Of course, that's my background. That's your background too. David, I wish you well on your course. Like I said, I feel this is a course that everybody ought to take. Even if it was free, here's the thing. Even if it were free, I think people are impatient. 7 hours, it might be distilled to the essence, but they're thinking, I don't even want to spend 7 minutes. Just tell me what I need to buy right now. And tell me tomorrow what I need to buy. I just think I've gotten a lot more enjoyment, and I think you have too, of doing your own research and having a better understanding, being in the know instead of somebody telling you what to do. Yeah.
I had taught other courses, so I was familiar with the structure of creating a course, how to build the sections and the lessons and the videos, because some of the individual videos are only about 4 minutes, some of them are 15 minutes, but it builds off of each other and it just continues playing. But that's where the structure came from, as I done. And I have created up courses, some smaller ones on other topics that were free. And I've also seen that if it is, people don't typically finish it, or they don't value it quite as much. So I wanted it to make it completely accessible to anyone. If you could take a 7-hour course and learn how to make some money in this hobby, you could do that very quickly. But yeah, anybody can go check it out. It's coachdavidlee.com/cards with an cards plural, coachdavidlee.com/cards, and that'll redirect them right to the page where they can preview it and check out all the lessons of everything they're going to learn. And always welcome feedback on it.
It's a living course. And so again, I love doers in the hobby that are not just pontificating about what somebody ought to do, but David, you're actually doing it. And I appreciate that. So thanks, David. If you don't go to the special landing page URL for /cards, you're going to see that David's got a whole bunch of other things that might be of interest as well. So thanks, David. Thanks, listeners. Be back again tomorrow with another episode.
The man in the house of cards. The man in the house of cards. The man in the house of cards is